Years ago, I started building a list of the worst movies I'd ever seen. I know the legacies of films like Thanksgiving, The Room, and Cool Cat Saves the Kids, but I've never actually watched them. Besides, the obvious choices like those have been discussed at length already, while these, they're not talked about as much. I did make one rule: no easy targets. No Asylum films, no Disney remakes, no Shyamalan, no Tyler Perry, etc. And if you're wondering why it's a series instead of just one video, it's because I simply can't condense the madness of these movies. And I don't know if you know this, but exporting long videos is a pain in the balls. With that, here's number 10, Somebody Help Me. I'm sure I'll be saying those exact words halfway through this. It's a horror movie from 2007, written and directed by Chris Stokes. First thing I want to say is I like the aerial tracking shot in the opening credits. It's really cool. We're introduced to Brendan and his girlfriend Serena, played by Marquise Houston and Brooklyn Sudano, respectively. They're accompanied by their friends Daryl and Kimmy, played respectively by Omarion and Alexis Fields. They're all heading up to Arrowhead Lake for Serena's birthday weekend because Daryl's uncle has a cabin out there.
This isn't so bad.
Yeah, D, you really hooked it up this time, man. Gotta say, I'm impressed.
Well, don't be. I always come through.
No, you don't.
Brendan and Daryl make a snack run and we find out the rest of their friends are on the way. They meet Sheriff Bob, who's kind of an interesting character. At first, he seems like the typical hard-nosed small-town cop you expect in horror movies.
So we got us some party animals up here in Lake Arrowhead, huh?
But he warms up when he realizes he's friends with Daryl's uncle. There's also this creepy old guy named Olson. Immediately, I got Home Alone vibes, figuring he's a red herring like Marley was.
Thank you all so much for coming. I really wasn't expecting it. Oh, of course.
And on behalf of my beautiful Serena, I want to thank you guys for coming to this surprise birthday party and making it a good one.
Well, on behalf of me and my beautiful Nicole, we would not have missed this shit for the world.
Really? Hanging out in a cabin drinking beer? I mean, it's fine, just not exactly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. No, I get it, their friend group is tightly knit. We learn Nicole here has asthma. Wonder if that'll play into anything? Nah. These two couples went off to get freaky deaky in the woods, by the way. That always ends well in slasher movies. Later on, Brendan has a dream about some ghost girl or whatever.
Ashes, ashes, you must die.
Brendan, do you need to talk to someone? He hears a noise and goes to investigate. We see a shadowy figure lurking about, but of course this idiot doesn't notice. If you're gonna search the place, how about turning on a light? The two couples never come back, so the guys form a search party.
Look, I'll stay here and go look for them while you guys go back and call the sheriff.
Think that's a good idea, man? It don't seem too safe out here, sir.
I got this. I can handle myself.
Cool, dude, let's go.
Yo, B, maybe I should stay here with Seth.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Well, be careful.
I don't know about you guys, but I am not splitting up in a situation like this. I know what happens in these woods. Turns out the friends who went missing got kidnapped by this, I don't know, G-man in a surgical mask, played by Sonny King. And this is crazy, this dude cuts off this girl's ear. I don't know how much of this I can show without getting age restricted, but I must say, the gore effects are surprisingly realistic. Shout out to Linda Sammet, she really earned that Big Lots card and box of corn pops they paid her for this. One thing that kinda took me out of it though is this melodramatic orchestral frickin' Lord of the Rings music. I don't know, it just feels comically out of place. This is some King Arthur type of soundtrack. The movie is so extra for this.
I think you're right, baby. Maybe we should call the sheriff.
What? You didn't call the sheriff yet?
Well, Kimmy thought it'd be a bad idea to scare the town.
Plus, she said, how would we explain it to your uncle?
Good thinking, baby.
That is not good thinking, you freaking morons. I mean, why would his uncle be mad that their friends got lost and they called the sheriff for help? This is a small town, number one. The sheriff probably has nothing better to do anyway. Number two, he literally gave them his personal cell phone number and told them to call if they needed anything. 3, it's part of his job. And 4, he's friends with the uncle. They're making a problem out of nothing. This is so stupid. Eventually, though, they agree to call Sheriff Bob.
Can you give me a description of what your friends look like?
White.
What? Serena gives him photos of the friends from her camera. The sheriff pulls outside and Olsen is watching the house like a creepo. I'm sorry, but the movie is so heavy-handed, there's no way this guy isn't a red herring. Not worried about him at all. We see Vince McMahon over here with his next victim. He scalps this girl and puts the scalp of another girl that he scalped on top of her head. But that's not enough. It's not enough to just play this demented human Barbie doll game. He stitches the other scalp onto her. I know I'm cracking jokes, and don't get it twisted, this movie still sucks. But Jesus Christ. Weirdly, the one thing this movie does well is the gore. It seriously has some of the most gruesome sequences I've ever seen in a movie. It was genuinely hard to watch the first time. Again, hats off to the effects lady. It looks so real. Sheriff Bob surmises that no foul play was involved, but Deputy Adams has a different theory.
Remember what happened 3 years back around this exact same time? You don't think this has anything to do with that, do you, Sheriff?
You know we're not supposed to talk about that.
I'm sorry, sir.
Classic stuff. Daryl and Brendan are suspicious of Olsen, so they sneak into his cabin across the street. The whole time, Daryl keeps saying it's a bad idea and they should just leave it to the sheriff. But Brendan's like, let's Scooby-Doo this. Serena gets knocked the F out by the killer, and Kimmy knocks herself out running away from the killer. Freaking idiot. He takes them to his hideout and it's on to the next victim. He rips out a guy's eyeballs and rips his fingernails off one by one. Points for originality. I've never seen a slasher villain do that. For a random, dumb, low-budget horror flick starring R&B singers, it's surprisingly hardcore in this area. Again, I don't think I can show it all, so it might sound like I'm exaggerating, but there was no reason or expectation for the gore to be this detailed. The boys found Serena's scarf at Olsen's place, so they tell the sheriff they think Olsen kidnapped their friends. He lets them know that if they're wrong, he's gonna arrest them for breaking and entering, and then goes to investigate.
Olsen's place checks out okay. There's nothing unusual. I'm gonna go to Steve's place and check it out. You tell them boys they're in deep shit.
Nicole starts having an asthma attack and her boyfriend Seth gives her an inhaler to the killer, begging him to hand it to her. But you know, we've established that he specializes in torture, so he just dangles it over her cage until she wheezes to death. Now, obviously this is extremely cruel, but in the context of a whack low-budget horror movie, this is freaking hilarious, man. You got the melodramatic Lord of the Rings music again, you can hardly see anything, the acting isn't really convincing.
What are you doing with all your leave her the f alone! Stop!
He sounds desperate, sure, but it's not realistic enough to make me actually feel horrible for laughing. They could have at least had him thrash around trying to break free. Anyways, messed up like I said, but come on, you got this old guy in a see-through plastic Halloween mask that he got for $2.99 at freaking Walgreens, dangling the inhaler like, ooh, whoop, ooh, whoop. It's so hokey. Points for originality again though. I don't think I've ever seen an inhaler kill in a horror movie, or any movie. Sheriff Bob continues his sweep of Olsen's cabin. Oh hey, she said the title. He tries to bust them out, but gets... And that honestly sucks too. He wasn't the typical useless horror film cop that doesn't believe the kids. He was genuinely trying to do his job and help. After that, we're treated to some clunky dialogue.
Tell us what happened March 6th.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look, 3 teenagers went missing, okay, and their bodies were never found. Now all of our friends are missing. Please, you gotta tell us something.
We're not authorized to talk about that.
If you know what happened, literally, why would you ask what happened? This is the worst exposition ever. It's incredibly late too, the movie's almost 2/3 over. Now you want to start introducing lore? The deputy lets the guys leave at their own risk, which is honestly cool of him. He seems to know the sheriff likely isn't coming back. Anyway, more gore. This time the killer's ripping out a guy's teeth. But it doesn't stop there, oh no. He takes a dental drill to the open gum sockets. What? It's seriously gnarly. This is Saw levels of torture. Kudos to the actors playing the victims though. They performed these scenes quite believably. Brendan's truck was sabotaged, so he and Daryl decide to hoof it. I don't know, man, wandering around these strange remote back roads. If the bears, cougars, and snakes don't get you, you know who will.
You boys lost or something?
No, we straight.
My name's Steve. You boys from around here?
Just keep walking, don't
Hold up. Actually, we're not from around here. I'm Brendan. It's my friend Daryl. We're looking for a phone.
Well, there's a payphone just up the road. I can give you guys a lift.
Oh, heck no. Brendan has officially solidified himself as the dumbest character in the whole movie. It should go without saying, but giving information out to a total stranger in a strange place in the dead of night when you don't have a DC-15S blaster at minimum is a bad idea. This is literally how people go missing and get found a week later with no organs in a milky booty hole.
Hop in, boys.
Red flag number 1. He takes them out of the way of the police station and says the sheriff is at his cabin so they can talk to him there. Now, we know the sheriff got shanked Ghostface style, so that means this guy's the killer. I actually like that this reveal doesn't feel like a reveal. Anyone paying the slightest bit of attention would have seen it a mile away, but I appreciate the subtlety, and that the danger isn't immediate. Come to think of it, I also appreciate the lack of jump scares. I detest jump scares period, but considering how much of a crutch they are for low-budget horror especially, I gotta give props to Chris Stokes for not taking that route. Anyway, red flag number 2. He tells them they can use his phone if they need it, but it's disconnected. And red flag number 3, some mysterious white dust comes out of the receiver. You are going to die. Daryl's obviously been hit with a substance, and as he and Brendan try to leave, Brendan ditches Daryl, which is seriously a hoe move because not only is your friend impaired, but it's your fault that you guys are in this to begin with. Brendan steals the sheriff's car and escapes while the killer drags Daryl to his dungeon. Brendan's camped out with a pistol grip shotty and gets jump scared by the ghost girl from his dream earlier? Naturally, like anyone else would, he goes to investigate.
What are you doing here? You should leave now. Run! Ring around the rosy. You must die.
Oh, it was all just another dream.
What? Your friends. Did you find them yet? Follow me.
I was so confused the first time watching this, but basically this little girl is Daisy and she is presumably under custody of the killer whose name is Corbin. Why is she in his custody, you ask? Well, it's quite simple. He killed her grandmother 20 years ago. That's it, that's the only explanation we get. We don't know who her parents are or what happened to them. I feel like she'd mention if he killed them too, and she makes no indication that he's her father. She apparently just lives with the guy and hangs out in the woods at night by herself creepily singing nursery rhymes, and somehow infiltrates the dreams of random black dudes who come there on vacation. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. There are 2 possibilities here. 1, Brendan has some innate psychic ability that keeps him unharmed and compels the universe to deliver him a spiritual guide. Or 2, Chris Stokes just really wanted to use certain genre tropes to add mystery and creepiness, but was too incompetent at writing and directing to implement them in a way that made any kind of sense. Why, it's option 1, of course. The legend is true after all, and our dear friend Daisy was sent to aid our brave hero on the ultimate quest for liberation and justice. Drawn by the hands of fate, may he prevail in this deadly skirmish against the evil which seeks to devour all that is pure. Daisy leaves Brendan to his friends who are still locked in these dog crates, but Corbin returns before he can bust them out. Corbin then takes Serena to his operating room, but before he can scalp her presumably, Daisy lures him out with a distraction so Brendan can save Serena and call the police.
Brendan, please alert everybody right now.
All right, tell me the address.
240 East Riverweed Street.
All right, stay put. I'm on my way.
The trio of Daisy, Brendan, and Serena wind up cornered downstairs. And this is a cool shot, check it out. Brendan manages to stab Corbin with a kitchen knife so they can escape. They rush back to free everyone else, but oops, silly Brendan forgot the keys. Now, I've thankfully never been locked in a dog cage, so maybe I'm tripping, but these in particular look so cheap and flimsy. I refuse to believe he couldn't just separate the bars with enough force. But of course, this means Brendan has to go back for the keys.
Somebody help me!
Okay, it was forced that time.
Y'all stay here, okay? I gotta go get those keys.
Brendan, don't go.
Please don't leave me here. I want to go with you.
You guys will be fine, okay? I gotta do this alone.
It's just so funny to me how everyone acts like Brendan is Goku. Especially Daisy, since she literally just met this dude and had to help him out. She faced down Corbin a moment ago, behind a door but still, and she's done a lot for the rescue effort in a short amount of time. Corbin should be afraid of her. All jokes aside, it's noble that Brendan wants to keep the girls out of harm's way. But 3-on-1. Corbin can't take all of them. Or maybe he could. We learn that he survived the stabbing, which isn't entirely unrealistic, but the film tries to big him up as this unstoppable force, and it's completely unearned. Freddy Krueger is a supernatural dream demon, Jason Voorhees is a zombie, Michael Myers has cheats enabled, Corbin is just some old guy. Yet we're supposed to believe he's just super hardcore and can take infinite damage for some reason. This is that Scott Cawthon writing. And I'm a huge FNAF fan, so all you butthurt crybabies need to get off his jock. Anyway, they get into a fight and it really sucks how you can hardly see anything. Corbin hits Brendan with the freaking Undertaker clothesline, but Brendan gets the upper hand. He turns his back for exactly 18 seconds to look for the keys and Corbin pulls a Michael Myers. Didn't even make any noise, I guess he's just a ninja. I'm sorry, but this operatic score does not suit this movie at all. Tell me it doesn't sound like it was ripped straight out of a Lord of the Rings movie. Corbin's about to kill Brendan, but he gets shot in the back. By Olsen of all people. This actually surprised me. I was expecting Deputy Adams. And also surprisingly, I'm leaning more towards this being an actual decent twist than just a random subversion. Even if it is basically a ripoff of Home Alone. Really, Chris Stokes? Really? Regardless, the movie gets back on that bull immediately. Deputy Adams reveals that Corbin escaped and there's no sign of Daisy. In fact, he didn't even know who Daisy was. This is just a really cheap and lazy way to leave it open for a sequel, which unfortunately did happen, but it's so nonsensical. How is this random old man able to survive a stabbing and a shooting and just walk away? Want to hear something funny? The movie ends with Corbin pulling up to a roadblock and we see he has Daisy with him. As a viewer, I can't help but wonder how he tended to his wounds, in which he took a blade to the stomach and a bullet to the back, got a change of clothes, found Daisy, and got on the road without being spotted by anyone. This is a small town. Do the cops not know his truck? Is it not his truck and he stole it? Wouldn't the owner notice their truck missing? Was it just hidden on his property somewhere? Whatever, the cop just lets him go.
Ring around the rosy.
I cannot with this movie, man. They set up roadblocks specifically to catch this guy, only to wave him on after coming face to face with him. This is the situation. You're a policeman. You've just been informed that some old guy is kidnapping, torturing, and killing people. One of his victims being the local sheriff. You're tasked with stopping vehicles to help bring this guy to justice. Since you apparently don't have his face, wouldn't that make anyone who fits his description a suspect? Actually, hold on, why wouldn't they have his face? He lives in the town, right? Let me stop, I'm sure I'm spending way more brainpower on this than Chris Stokes did. Now you might be thinking, didn't the sheriff allude to a cover-up earlier? Maybe all the cops are in on it. Okay, now we're left with a new question. Why would the cops want to protect this guy? Literally, what motivation would they have? Is he paying them a stupid amount of money? Possibly, I guess. Although I kind of feel like maybe killing one of them would render that agreement void. I don't know, this movie sucks. The acting is pretty much okay, no standout performances. I'd say it ranges from decent to ugh. The lighting is atrocious in much of the night scenes. Half the time I couldn't see a thing. Daisy as a character has no reason to exist. She's basically a cheap exposition device to move the plot forward. One thing I like is how Brendan kicked Corbin several times once he had him down. I hate when slasher protagonists just instantly run away after incapacitating the killer. Corbin proved he's a durable threat, so I definitely would have stomped him at minimum. As I've said, the best part is weirdly the torture scenes. That isn't to say I like seeing people get tortured, but the effects are convincing and the actors performed well. And while the lighting is crap in many scenes, it otherwise isn't terribly shot. Oh, and the sound design is good. It really is. This might come as a surprise, but I actually don't hate this movie. It's one of those things where my enjoyment comes from making fun of how bad it is, like the 2016 Suicide Squad. I have an idea. Release the Ayer cut. But yeah, the general competence of the camera work, and the unintentional comedy are the exact reasons this film is highest on the list. So if you're in the mood to laugh at some cheesy, low-budget horror, you could do a lot worse.